All right, guys, so leg day, always start with different things. It's never gonna be the same workout twice. You're gonna find that with a lot of my workouts. Today we're gonna start with leg extensions, and because we're starting with leg extensions, I start really light, okay? I'm not trying to prove any point to anybody. I'm not trying to break any records. This is not a mass movement, so I don't need to put the whole stack on there. I'm starting, as you can see, with like 45 pounds I started with. I just wanna get the blood flowing. I wanna get my legs full. I wanna get my knees loosened up. I wanna get everything loosened up before I move on to a compound movement. Sometimes I'll start with a lying leg curl. Same reason, just wanna get everything kind of lubed up and warmed up and get the blood flowing. Now, here on the leg extension, you see me not grabbing the handles. That's not a must. You can grab the handles if you want, but I feel like when I don't grab the handles, I just keep my legs here. I can kind of focus on the quad more than just heaving the weight. Again, you want to keep the whole movement in control. So I'm powering up, but in control. I'm controlling the negative, and I try and get a little bit of squeeze at the top to really emphasize that tension. You guys are gonna notice one big difference on leg day than other days. We're still gonna try and go heavy. We're still gonna use a lot of intensity. The one thing you're gonna notice is the volume is a lot higher. So as you see, my reps here are 15 to 20. They could go as high as 30 sometimes. Same thing on the leg press. So I've noticed that for leg days, a lot of people put like, 800 pounds on the leg press and will do like 2, 3, 4, 5 reps. It's not gonna do it. You need to be able to do 6, 7, 800 pounds with 20 reps. When it comes to legs, it's heavy weight and high volume, not one or the other. You gotta go as heavy as you can for as high a volume as you can. You're looking at 15 to 20 rep ranges on leg press, leg extension, sometimes a hack squat. The only thing my volume's lower on leg day is squats. Because on squats, I cardiovascularly run out of breath before the muscle is destroyed. So on squats, I focus more on strength. So my rep range is somewhere from 10, 8, 6, in that range there. Watermelon. It's just good. All right, so you guys see me wearing some knee sleeves today. Funny thing is, these aren't knee sleeves. These are elbow sleeves. But I got a 3XL because I wanted a knee sleeve, but I don't want the regular knee sleeve that you get. I like these to have a little bit of stretch to them. They kind of go on comfortably and they stay where I want them to. So, but knee sleeves, the main reason I use them is not for extra strength or power or anything during lifting. I put a 5% menthol cream on my knees to get the blood flowing to the area before I get here. I put it on at home when I'm at home. Put on the 5% menthol, put the sleeve over top of it. What that does is allow the blood to flow to that area, keep the knee joint really warm. So when I get in here and I start training, my knees are already warm. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna warm up, I'm still gonna warm up. But it puts me in a better place when I start. And then I'll leave them on through the workout, just keep my knees protected, kind of. Just a warm thing. It's not, they're not tight enough to the point where they're gonna help me lift or make me stronger. So it's gonna keep me safe. All right. Fuck. So call that a double rest pause. That'll finish us off here. You see me do this on other exercises and other body parts. It's no different here. We're gonna tax the quad, finish it off completely before moving on. So put it at a weight, I could do it for 15. Give myself a 5-second rest. I try to stay in the machine because it makes the tension even worse. So I did that for the second set. Took a little break and then I got started. I only got 5. So on the second rest pause, I got out, let the blood flow a little bit. I got back in, knocked out 6 or 7. So now I'm ready to move on. So move on from leg extensions to a machine squat. I feel like my knees are warm now. Get some blood flowing. I'm ready for a compound movement. Probably gonna stay in the 6 to 10 range on this exercise. Like I said, your squats or squat-like movements for me are gonna be a little lower reps. And then from here, we'll probably move on to a hamstring exercise. Make sure we work on the back side of our legs. Your squats actually do work your hamstrings on the way down. A lot of it is hamstring control, so it'll be good to go to hamstring movement after this. Really torque the hamstrings. Now, one thing is, you wanna make sure when you're lifting here, you go straight up. So as you come down, it's gonna be a natural thing to wanna push your butt out and lift like this. You wanna try and keep your butt under you and go straight up with your quads. One important note I wanna make, when you're training any compound movement for legs, any pressing movement, squats, leg press, hack squats, even sometimes lunges, depending on how you're doing them. For the most part, generally, unless you're specifically doing something different, you always want to be pushing off the heel. So when you get on this machine and you're driving upwards, do not drive through your toes. Drive through your knees. It might feel good at first to drive through your toes, but that energy is going up the toe, up the shin, to the knee. Over time, with heavy weight, that will destroy your knees. Pushing through the heel will involve the entire leg. It will actually make you, it'll help you build more muscle faster. Whoa. Yep. So people ask me all the time why I wear Chuck Taylors to train, is aside from the fact that I love the way they look, I don't want to train anything heavy where I need to have my feet planted, like any leg stuff or deadlifts or anything like that where I want to have my feet planted. I don't want to wear shoes with like a squishy bottom. I'm not saying you can't. I've seen many people squat and like really heavy weight when they're like running shoes, but I don't feel comfortable. I like having a hard sole under my feet, something like Chucks or like work boots, wrestling shoes, shit like that. Just give you a flat sole so you know, kind of know exactly where you're at. We'll move from machine squats to lying leg curls, okay? Sometimes I split my leg workouts. This off season, I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna do my legs all at once and see if I get better recovery through the week. I have better leg workouts overall. So I'm gonna do 3 to 4 quad exercises, 2 hamstring exercises. I might add a second hamstring day after back, just a couple exercises, but probably not. I'm gonna see how this goes for the next month, see how my hamstrings look and feel, and then decide if I'm gonna add a second day. But we're coming here now. We got a little bit of hamstring stimulation from the negatives on the machine squat. So now we're gonna fry them on the lying leg curl. Couple tips for you. Make sure you keep your hips and glutes down If you're lifting your glutes, you're not training your hamstrings. One of the ways you can do that is try and lift your knees off this pad at the very top. But as you curl up, try and lift your knee off here. That'll help you contract your glutes and fire the hamstring really hard. This is fucking torching my hamstrings after squatting first. Immediately swelled right up, and the burn is intense. Now, one of the reasons why you see me coming up explosively and then controlling the negative, I found that your hamstrings actually grow more if you control the negative on this movement means more than the concentric. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but learn to control the negative on this movement. You'll see your hamstrings start to really explode. And then, as you can see, I'm getting a pause at the bottom. Now, when I pause at the bottom, I'm not letting the weight touch. The weight is literally resting this far off the stack. So it's resting on my hamstrings, like I'm still holding it there. Hold there for a second and come up. That hold at the bottom, that 1 or 2 second hold, is creating a lot of tension. A lot of time under tension. I'm sure you've heard that term. It's creating more tension at the bottom, and then when I come up, there's no spring. There's no inertia. It's not like as if you're just going set after set, rep after rep after rep. Stopping. And you're starting from a dead stop. That's gonna help you build more strength and power in your hamstrings. If you can't squat because of whatever injury or something, hack squat is the next best thing, in my opinion. But if you can squat, you do them both. You'll see exponential leg growth. Think of bodybuilding like this. Every change of angle, every change of grip, every change of machine or free weight or dumbbell is going to change the way your muscle's stimulated. Okay? So when you squat, you're going to hit the quads in a certain way, but you're also going to hit the hamstrings, the calves, the glutes, the hips. Everything's working in a squat. When you hack squat, you're getting the same thing. The whole leg is going to work, the glutes are going to work, but the quads are going to work a little more depending on where you put your feet. Okay? You put our feet a little bit lower, you're going to get more quad. Put your feet a little in, you're going to get more lateralis, outer sweep. I got my feet a little bit wider because I'm trying to build my adductors on the inside of my quad. So, and you can do that too with a squat, but I feel a little more isolation in my quads when I do the hack squat machine versus a squat, which is, I feel like, is an overall leg developer. Again though, just like the squat, make sure when you're hack squatting, you're pressing through the heel and not through the toe. There are specific exercises you can do on a hack squat that are through the toe, but in general, when you're just doing a regular hack squat, make sure you're pushing through your heels. If you're trying to put your feet together and you're too low on the pad and your heels are coming up at the bottom, that means your flexibility is not good enough for that stance. Open them up, okay? Bring them up a little higher. Do whatever you have to do to stay on your heels, okay? Protect your knees. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years might be fine. If you keep doing this for 5, 10 years, you're gonna run into problems, I promise you. Yep. So at the beginning of the workout, I told you guys high volume was the way to build your legs. Now, I have been kind of taking a break from legs and not training really heavy for about a month and a half, 2 months. This is the start of my off season, so I'm trying to build my strength back up. So if you're focused on strength, You do want a little bit lower reps, okay? So you see me mostly in the 8 to 10 range. I still won't go down to like 4 or 5, something like that. I won't do that. But because I'm trying to build the strength back up on my quads, I'm going a little bit on the lower volume side. 4 plates used to be partially a warm-up for me. As you can see now, it's a working set. So that tells me I need to build my strength back up, so that's what we're doing. But in a regular leg day, this would be a 12 to 15, okay? So you guys saw me start when I got to the very bottom of the movement, because as you do each set, you're gonna get a little more flexible. I started touching this. I didn't want to. I didn't want to have a stopper there. So I put it down one, and I was able to squat, use the hack squat properly, freely, fully with my legs and no stopper. On the last set, I did a set of 5 plates for 15 reps. I grind each one out. That's my failure set. But to take the failure set even past failure, I put this up because I wanted to do some dead stops. So I put that back up, 1 plate, one pin, and I moved down to 3 plates. And you can see me stopping at the bottom of every rep. Now, some of you may think that's cheating, but they're called dead stop squats. And done by themselves, they're probably more for strength than size, because you're teaching yourself how to come out of the hole without any inertia. But because I did them as a drop set after a failure set of 15, it's just taxing the muscle even further. So I come down, rest for 1 or 2 seconds. It's all quad at that point, all leg, no inertia, no momentum. You're forcing your fucking legs to do all the work. So when you're already burnt from the first half of the set, those dead stops are gonna wreck you. And that's why I still can't catch my breath. All right. What is this contraption I've set up? Okay, what I did was set up these bands on the leg press. If there's any machine or any exercise I love using bands on, it's leg press. This will teach you how to leg press, because these bands are gonna pull this sled down. So you have to control the negative or it will just crush you. Now, it's not pulling down with a lot of force, but it's enough to make you control the negative. And that is gonna teach us to use our hamstrings and our adductors and our quads to reduce, to bring down the weight on the negative. This is gonna torch our hamstrings even more so than a leg press normally would. Most people use leg press for quads. They don't understand that their hamstrings are doing a lot of work on this exercise. But with these bands, we've made them do even more. So we're getting some quad, we're getting some hamstring. Good, we're gonna superset with these dumbbells. And we're gonna do some standing stiff leg dumbbell deadlifts. And that's gonna also torch our hamstrings even further as a superset. Why are we doing that? Because we did 3 quad exercises when we did leg extensions, squats, and hack squats. We've only done 1 hamstring exercise. But I feel like my quads need a little more, so I'm gonna get some quad out of the leg press, but I'm also gonna get a lot of hamstring. So this is gonna help us finish the workout and get a full pump in the entire leg, kind of finish every fiber off that we can. Okay, so you see my form. Form when you're using bands is gonna be a little different than when you're not using bands. I'll tell you why. First of all, I'm going deep, as deep as I can, because my legs eventually hit my stomach, so I can only go 90 degrees. That's gonna be the same regardless whether you have bands or not. Now, on the way up, you see me going all the way out. I'm not locking out. It might look like I'm locking out. I'm stretching out my hamstrings all the way, but I'm not actually locking my knee. Don't lock your knees, whatever you do. All the way straight, but don't actually lock the knee with the weight all hanging off the knee. That's not a good idea. So I'm straightening my leg all the way out, but I don't lock the knee. And the reason I'm doing that is the maximum amount of pressure you're gonna get out of this band is obviously at the very top of the stretch. So I wanna get that full tension from these bands. I put a second one on now. I wanna get the full tension from these bands by stretching all the way out and holding it there. And that's gonna put all the force on my quads, on my hamstrings. Then I start my second rep. So take your time with these. Don't try and power through them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not like that. When you're using bands, it's more methodical. Get in, control the negative, push all the way out, push through it hard, and then hold that for a second. That's gonna put the maximum amount of stress on your legs. This is for people who are serious about their goals. If you come to the gym on leg day and you aren't scared, you're not training hard enough. I've been coming to the gym for 20 years, straight, no breaks. Every fucking time I come to train legs, I'm scared. There are times when I'm more scared than others, but I never come to the gym to train legs and don't have a little bit of fear of throwing up, of hurting myself, of collapsing, of just the all-out pain it's gonna take to get through the workout. It takes all your effort, man, whether you're training back, legs especially though, okay? All the body parts are gonna take your full effort to change your physique. But leg day, there's a reason why leg day is a thing. It separates the men from the boys. It separates the women that want to fucking really change their bodies and from the women who just talk about it. Don't hashtag leg day on fucking Instagram unless you really gave it everything you got, and you're the only one who knows. Anybody can look at you and go, oh, that guy trains hard. But you know when you leave here if you really were just dicking around for Instagram or if you really meant it. But if you do, it's always going to be a little bit of pain before you get here, a little bit of fear of the pain before you get here. So if you don't have that, make sure you push yourself a little harder. All right, guys, that's leg day, and I don't have very much to say. I said all I have to say, and I showed it in the gym. So all I can say is get in there, make each set count, and we'll see you guys next time for a new body part.